Everybody, John Cina here, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of FunkQuest. And we have a walkover today because one of our scheduled Funksters was unavailable. So we have a walkover with Charlie Cina. Is that right?
That is correct.
Correct, yeah. So the process is you've got to go through the process. Then at the end of the episode, you're through to the next round. Happy days. No voting, none of that. So that's good. So if you've kind of not listened to FunkQuest before, you'll figure it out pretty soon. But if you think you are funky enough to be on the show, send me a tweet at JohnSenior1. And remember, no scrambling for a piece of paper or a pencil because Charlie's won this episode. And if you think you've got a better answer than Charlie, then join in with the hashtag FunkQuest. And so with that said, let's get on with the show. So Charlie, it's very simple. You've got to pick an icon from question one.
Icon from question one.
It's question one.
Well, I got to take Elvis because he knows how to take care of business or knew how to take care of business.
Elvis. When you are old, what do you think children will ask you to tell stories about?
How I met my wife.
How did you meet your wife?
I met my wife. Well, my mother had never set me up with I don't want to call it a blind date. She never even introduced me to anybody. I always, went out into the world and got my own girlfriends or significant others.
Yeah.
But yeah, she came home and told me that she met this young lady and that I should meet her. We did. We met, and 2 months later, we were together. And 25 years later, here I am with two kids, and we're going to be together 25 years and married 20.
That's good.
So
I mean, what sold it versus your wife versus all these other ladies? What was the clinching factor?
Well, I think A is timing. I was 29 years old. The funny thing is she was 19. So I looked at my mother and I said, you want me to go out with a 19-year-old? And I couldn't get along with a 27-year-old. She said, well, you should just come and meet her. So we met at a place here in town, and I thought she was pretty and I thought she was nice. And we parted as friends and we kept in contact. And then one day I stopped by my mother's home. I was into Harley Davidsons at the time, and I pulled up on my motorcycle and I went in to see my mother. She happened to be there just got done with a aerobics class or whatever it was back in 1995. That was all the rage exercise and fitness program. I said, hey, I'm going to go meet some friends at one of the local casinos here in Las Vegas. Would you like to come? She said yes, and we've been together ever since.
How did you keep in touch in the 90s?
How do we keep in touch?
Yeah, phone?
Yeah, it was. And that's funny you're saying that, right? How did you keep in touch? That just sounded like a funny question. I'm like, why is he asking me that question? But yeah, you're exactly right.
Phone.
It was phone. And now that you talk about that, I remember me traveling or her being out of town, and, you used to, pick up the phone and rapid call every 15 minutes, right? To see if she was at home or you're leaving a message or, remember the old days of the beepers where you used to page people, right? And they call you back.
That's it, yeah. It's gone. Yeah. Question two. Good answer, that. Question two.
Second row, the Polaroid camera.
The camera. What do you bring or take with you everywhere you go?
Well, I bring this.
What is that? Money?
Well, it's money.
Yeah.
I never leave without my money clip.
Money clip.
And I'm old school, so I'm from New York originally. You always carry your money in your front pocket, and you make sure that it's secure. So a lot of guys from the East Coast, right? Growing up on the East Coast, there's pickpockets or whatever, right? New York is a metropolitan city. I actually grew up in Buffalo, New York. But again, my dad taught me you carry your money in your front right pocket and all your valuables, your license, your credit cards, and what have you. You keep it together. Always keep your money neat and orderly, going the same way so you know what you got. And I used to use a rubber band until I found this incredible product called the M-Clip, which secures everything that I need in order to function and travel. Again, I'm a little old school. I carry this thing called cash. So
Money, interesting. The first thing when I used to work for a high street bookmaker when I was a student, and the first thing we learned counting money is that you got to put all the money with the Queen's head all the right way.
that's it, man. That's
So
exactly. I don't know if you can see it, but you know.
Yeah, hold it up so I can see.
Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You got it. Was that George Washington? You got to put his head. His
Ben
head.
Franklin. That's George.
Right. I don't know.
And that's Lincoln. They don't buy much anymore these days.
If you want to come to England, you don't buy anything.
I remember being on a cruise. This is in '97 with my wife. Again, we were just, dating. We weren't married. And we met this couple from London. He said, don't quote me. Gas is, whatever, four pounds a liter, and milk was crazy. And I'm like, milk's like, half gallon of milk in the States is 99 cents. And now. Well,
let's work this out. Last time I filled my car, it was 122 per litre. 1 litre is 0.22 imperial gallons. All right, let's go on with the next question. So question 3, you want Keith?
Sure, I'll take Keith.
Keith, when was the last time you regretted something you said?
I can tell you the last time I regretted something I did.
Go on then.
So this morning, I went to the gym very early so I could be here for this call.
Yeah.
And my wife was in the bathroom brushing her teeth, and I turned on the light, and she was not ready to wake up yet.
Oh, nice.
So I got the wrath.
So you got the older
of my wife bright and early for turning on the light too early. So that's something today that I regret that I didn't, I shouldn't have done.
Should have done that, yeah.
Like, should have been a little more sensitive.
Well, apologies, Mrs. Cina, if we woke you up because Charlie had to be on the show.
Here's what I would like to say, though.
Yeah.
I live by the mantra that words are things, and words trigger pictures, which trigger emotions, right? Which either lead to action steps or lead to reactions, right? Great question. I try to do my best at all times to be a craftsman of words and make sure that what you're saying has merit and is going to leave a positive impact. So with that,
craftsman of words, that's a good phrase.
Yeah, craftsman of words. Words trigger pictures, which trigger emotion. So,
yeah.
Words stick with you. Words have meaning, and words are definitely things.
They definitely are. Question 4, Charlie.
I'll take
take
the punk rocker.
Punk rock girl. What will always be in fashion no matter how much time passes?
Courtesy, respect, I think will always be in fashion. And unfortunately, I don't think that's something that's practiced or taught in schools like it was. And I hate to sound old school, but that's one of the things.
It's an old school show, mate. We're all here amongst friends here. Everybody knows when you used to be at school and a new teacher came and you had to stand up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there's just a lot of things, not only here in the States, but again, to your point, it's international. Like to me, the most important word in life is the word hello. Hello, my name is.
Yeah.
How do you introduce yourself to people? How do you make people feel significant? So to me, courtesy, respect is the most important attribute or product that any human being can have. The art of making people feel, significant. And I know we're in a world of high tech, but to me, high touch is just as important. So stick out a hand. Tell people your name, ask them, more importantly, ask them their name, because most people, the sweetest sound that they'll ever hear is their name.
We always find it interesting when we go to France, you get on the ferry, you go to France, and it takes about an hour and that. And as soon as you're in France, obviously they speak French, right? Obviously. But people say, do you struggle? I say, no. I say, why? I say, I don't speak French. The only thing you can do, please and thank you in their own language. It goes so far. Just say please.
Please, thank you. Eye contact.
Yeah.
Again, you stick out a hand, you shake a hand. I mean, there's some, listen, we're all human beings at the end of the day. And what I've learned is, I've gotten older, is we're all about energy. Energy is everywhere. So, people can feel your energy. People can feel a smile. And if you do take that time to stick out a hand and shake it and get that human touch and interaction going, and people's names, you get their names. Now you're not a stranger anymore.
It's priceless. That's the whole point of this show, is that You know, we've got people that listen to this because it's like listening to two friends talking. That's the whole point of the show. Question 5.
Question 5.
I've got some computer games of Scooter, a car and a caravan, or the flag of Spain.
Let's do the computer games.
Computer games. What was the first record you bought?
The first record I bought. Man, you're making me go back.
That's the whole point. We need.
I remember all the vinyl. I remember, you know, you'd go to the record store on Saturday.
That's it.
I was just having this conversation, I think, with I don't know if it was my son or a friend of mine. It was like, go collect my, you know, my papers. I used to have a paper route. You used to go and collect the money and whatever tips you would make. I'd go right to the record store. It was called Record Boutique. It was 3 blocks from my house. Yeah. I remember the big stickers on the records, like 99-cent sticks in my brain. Like you get a whole album. We can beat that. I can't recall the first, honestly can't recall the first record, but, you know, it was probably mid-70s. So, you know, gosh, I mean, I'm sure I was listening to things like, you know, Kiss and Peter Frampton and, you know, groups like that. I don't know if you remember Frampton Comes Alive. He was from. We used
to go around the lady at the record shop. We used to put 50 pence on it. When you got 50 pence, you go down and she used to put it in a bag, put your name on it, and put it behind the counter, and you used to pay her off 50 pence a week. And when you'd paid 3 or 4 quid or whatever, then you got it.
Or the little 45s, right? Yeah. Little 45 records, and you used to go home and put the little. What were they called? The little dials you used to have to put in the center of the 45.
The secret for them, we always heard, is that when they needed them, they'd been in a jukebox somewhere. And there was a shop near us that used to sell them for pence because they were ex-jukebox. So some of them were scratched and damaged and that. But they never used to come in their original sleeves.
Yeah, but, you know, growing up, you know, I grew, you know, born in the 60s, but, you know, really grew up as a young kid in the 70s. But when I really started listening to music, I can remember everything again. Groups like Peter Frampton, Yes, Rush was coming up, late 70s. And then, you know, my parents used to listen to everything from the Spinners to the OJs to James Brown, you know, just a wide variety of different music. You know, jazz fusion started to come up with all the, you know, the synthesizers and things of that nature. But yeah, I had a ton of records and a ton of vinyl, and
fantastic.
God only knows where it is.
Well, whatever. It's good to go back. Anyway, listen, Charlie, you are through to the next round. How can we find out more about you and buy your book if you've got a book, and buy all your other products and services?
Sure. Well, my book is Expose and Close. Tips, strategies, and techniques to activate, acquire, and achieve success. So it's just simple networking, marketing, and sales techniques. I wrote the book, Jonathan, because nobody likes to sell. Most people don't like to sell. Yeah. So I like to teach people how to present and position themselves so they profit. You know, how do you present yourself in a way that's unforgettable at the first point of contact? How do you position yourself as the only logical choice so you dominate your space? And then how do you profit by acquiring high-level clients and then nurturing those clients to get repeat and referral business? And one of the first chapters in the book is really what we were discussing. It is, you know, hi, my name is, right? My name is Charlie. What's your name? And how do you stick out your hand and really master the art of introduction? And when someone asks you, you know, what do you do? In 10 seconds or less, you can say, you know, who you are, what you do, and what problem you'll help people solve. So they can go to exposeandclose.com, exposeandclose.com to get the book. I also have a new virtual online training program where I take people step by step through the simple strategies and techniques that I use to connect with the right clientele and convert high-level clients. And ultimately, really what my goal is just to teach exactly what you and I are doing here today, right? How do you have conversations that convert?
All we want is people just talk to each other.
That's correct.
Stupid phones and no stupid Instagram.
I love it.
Pick up the phone, or preferably go face to face like we're doing now. That's all we want.
No question. Yeah. High tech and high touch.
High tech, high touch. Like it. Good stuff. Charlie, thanks so much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and we'll see you in the next round. Thanks so much.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Take care. Hi, thanks so much for making it to the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. I have a few people you might want to share it with. Your partner, your parents, your grandma and granddad, your neighbours, your hairdresser, your tea lady, your gym instructor, your swimming coach, postman, the bin man, your cat, your dog, Father Christmas, Mr. Trump, Mr. Putin, Cristiano Ronaldo.